Welcome to MissouriNet.com. It's time for our weekly visit with Jason West from MSHSAA. He's the communications director. He was tied up in board of director meetings. I was busy chasing down hacking scandals with the St. Louis Cardinals and ballot stuffing from the Kansas City Royals. So it was a crazy week. So instead of Monday, we're now meeting here on Thursday. Jason, first of all, how were the board of director meetings? Everything go okay? Nothing earth-shattering or?
No, I don't believe we changed the world with this meeting. We did have some advisory committees that had some recommendations for the board. The vast majority of those dealing mostly with cleaning up language in the specific manuals, speech, debate, music. One of the suggestions for music was dealing with Kevlar heads on the snare drums and trying to get rid of those because of the noise and possible hear loss for the judges and performers in dealing with those type things. So pretty nice, smooth meeting. No major fires or stir-ups in this one.
That's good. What I wanted to actually, the other thing I wanted to bring up too is it's a good thing you guys finished all those championships before all this rain hit, because I know you had to deal with some rain, but I mean, this has been ridiculous. So you got everything out of the way just in time.
Exactly. Luckily, Mother Nature kept Bill at bay for just long enough. So
that's right. Tropical Storm Bill, he's coming this way. So I was in St. Louis for a couple of weekends ago and for a softball tournament, had some time and doing some shopping and looking at different stores. There was a store that was dedicated completely to the sport of lacrosse. And one of the things that we were going to talk about today is, and I know it's big in that part of the state, but I thought that kind of tied in because I wanted to talk to you about emerging sports that are coming up around the state, and wanted to talk about that and see how far along certain sports are to becoming official, whether they're sports or activities, and how far away we are from possible championships. And the one that I really wanted to start that I've heard about for a while has been bass fishing, which really intrigued me at first. But maybe we can talk about that and some of the other activities that MSHSAA is looking at.
Sure. Bass fishing, along with chess and bowling, were three sports that were added to the or actually, I'm sorry, there were three activities that were added to the emerging sports, emerging activities category. I believe we're in year 2 right now. And those are activities that are kind of a trial basis, if you will, to see if they are wanting to become championship level events. And for an emerging activity or an emerging sport to become a championship level, they must have at least 50 schools registered and participating in the activity. And those 50 schools must be amongst 3 different board districts. We have 8 different board districts. The state's divided up into 8 different districts. Those 50 schools participating in that activity must comprise at least 3 different board districts for 2 consecutive years. And then at the end of the 3rd year, at the end of the 2nd year, they can be voted on by the membership to add that activity to the championship level for the 3rd year. And so far of those 3 sports, we have not reached that. Bass fishing is the one that has the most participation right now, with 30 schools registered. So there's still quite a few out there that, while they may be competing or fielding teams, they haven't officially registered yet to get up to that 50 threshold.
Let's go back to the very beginning. How does something like bass fishing or even chess, how does that even begin? Is it schools that come to you or parents? How does it all get started?
It's everything as far as from bylaws to anything like that really starts at the school level, at the local school level. We do have parents that may come with suggestions, and we tell them, talk to your local school, and if the schools want to add that or make that change, then they can start that process. And so it really starts with the school level and seeing what their students are participating in, or what they feel their students would like to participate in, and going from there.
Do you guys then help at all, or are you pretty much just staying back in terms of the promotion of it? So now you've got bass fishing with 30 schools. Obviously, you need to get to 50. Do you go out and talk to other schools? Do you help promote, or is it up to that group of 30 to say, hey, try to bring some others along and spread this activity?
The grassroots campaign is a big help in those respects. There are some activities, we tried to stay out of the business of steering the membership in any direction. We try to provide as much information as we can while they're making their decisions. But even in adding sports and things like that, and anytime the office gets into steering people in a certain direction, that's really a slippery slope. And so we, even on things that are no-brainers to add, we really don't need to get into the job of steering anybody in any direction. The schools and the members need to make those decisions and what's best for their school and their students on their own. That being said, we will try to provide as much information as possible. And in some of the activities, we have met with professionals or experts in those fields to kind of formulate what the activity might be. In target shooting, which was another activity that was added to the emerging list, we have to meet with those agencies and those organizations that currently offer championships and competitions to see exactly how this needs to be formed. Bass fishing, obviously meeting with those organizations to form some sort of rules of competition and eligibility and those type of things, so the members know what they're getting into, and to see if that's something that, we do have the numbers here that can support that, or no, we won't. We'll need to go in a different direction. So we try to provide as much information as possible, but we don't necessarily want to say, you need to vote for this, or no, don't vote for this.
Well, that's a good nugget for parents or even students that are watching this. If bass fishing or bowling, you also said target shooting and chess. I mean, if those are activities that you would like to see developed and your school doesn't have those, certainly start with your athletic director and go from there, as Jason said, with the grassroots effort. Bowling, back when I was in high school, it was a girls' sport in Illinois, and I don't know what they have right now, but I know that Central Missouri University has a real good women's bowling team that competes in nationals every single year. So that is a sport that's on the rise.
Yeah, and especially at the collegiate level, there are a lot of schools that are adding it, and some may have been kind of jokingly adding it, but it's becoming a full-fledged championship sport there.
And then chess. I don't know did you hear this? Is chess becoming a part of the Olympics in 2020?
I have not heard that.
Yeah. All right. So I don't know if somebody was just yanking my chain or I was listening something off in the distance, but but I know that St. Louis is a big chess area. There's a big chess club there, and then in terms of target shooting, that too is certainly a sport that's gaining popularity. And you look at Lindenwood University, I think their men's shooting team has won something like 12 straight national championships. My son went to high school with a kid that he played tennis with who's at Lindenwood, and I think he said they just won their 12th national championship. So these are sports that certainly on a college level in Missouri are catching on, and now you have an opportunity here in the state as well. Yeah,
and shooting and air rifle, and those have been sports at the NCAA level for a number of years now. There have been a few schools, and that's kind of growing as well. And 2 years ago, when we put this list of activities out for the membership, chess was actually one of the top vote getters. I believe chess and bowling were the top two, and bass fishing was a third. But right now we have 26 schools registered with chess teams. Bass fishing is with 30 and 12 on the bowling side. target shooting is one that, especially at the high school level and the youth level, 4-H, FFA, there's some competitions involved with those organizations as well. So there might be those clubs and those activities already at schools. They just haven't necessarily registered on the MSHSAA side yet.
Jason, is there a point where these schools, after a certain number of years, where if they're just not getting the schools, where you don't want any dealing with it at all, or it has to fall to the wayside, or is this something that can continue to try to grow?
There's something that, we obviously want the members to be able to grow the activities that they feel they want to grow. And so technically, I believe it's 3 years if you're on the list for 3 years and haven't been able to grow it much, then it may be taken off. But we still have activities that may have been on the list for quite some time and are still trying to be in that growing stage. Boys volleyball is one where there's been a campaign here in the last few years of trying to grow that. They're very close to making that 50-team mark and being in 3 different board districts. I think they may be less than 10 teams away from there. Gymnastics is one that has been on the list for quite some time, but there's still 3 schools that were offering it at last check in the state. So we don't want to remove anything to offend anyone, but there are some activities that have not grown much if they're starting to decrease, and then there's some that are really actually actively trying to grow.
Boy, good stuff. Really interesting. It'd be pretty interesting to see what happens in the next year or so. So maybe boys volleyball, we could be looking at chess and bass fishing here not too soon, or not too long. It's good stuff. Jason, thanks for your time this week. As always, great information. So again, for parents or students who are interested in perhaps these activities, you might want to look on your local level with your athletic directors and see about getting a team together. And then they can take it from there and then work with MSHSAA further. So Jason, as always, appreciate the visit.
It sounds great. Thanks a lot.
All right. Thanks for watching us here at MissouriNet.com.